Hey everybody, it's Pastor Bill,
And Pastor Deanna.
and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Holy Week. We're going to discuss a couple things today that are relevant to Holy Week that are kind of intriguing to us, I guess. Um, De- Deanna loves sweat, and I love, or Deanna loves blood, and I love crucifying people. So we're going to talk about those two things today. Before we get started on that, just want to remind you of what's going on here at Tillman Church this week, starting with Monday, Thursday.
Thursday, we're going to have service at 6 o'clock. We are going to talk about communion and foot washing both. And then we're going to take communion together as a family and have a foot washing service. If you do not want to wash feet, please still come because you are missing an amazing experience.
Absolutely.
I saw a picture yesterday of little Elena and great grandma in foot washing, and bring your little ones. Let them see what happens at foot washing. Let them learn about communion with us. Don't feel like you can't come because you don't want to wash feet or because you have little ones. Bring them.
I just want to add to that. I'm a pretty nice guy and pretty easygoing. Foot washing is one of the hardest things in the Christian walk. I just believe that.
Yep.
And I know that there are some that are already making plans for why they can't be here Thursday night. But, I look at this I start here, I go down through here and here. I can't see where Christ said, hey, you know what? If you want to wash somebody's feet, why don't you come on down? You got an opportunity, but if not, see you next year. This is a command. There's no if you want to about it, and it's very important. And I've heard all the excuses. My feet are ugly and my feet stink, and I'm not touching somebody else's feet because they might have germy wormies and things. But here's the deal. I challenge you. I expect to see everybody in the congregation here, because even if you don't want to participate in the physical act of peeling off your socks and allowing somebody to wash your feet, or you washing somebody's feet, at least come, at least be part of the atmosphere and learn so that you can grow. And I promise you, it's kind of addictive. That might not be a word that you would associate with foot washing, but
it's true.
I was the guy that literally for years, I made sure that my work pile waited till Thursday so I couldn't make it to church and things. And I came one time by accident because I forgot that it was foot washing night and I was there and couldn't walk away. And so I just acted like, well, I'm coming in late, so I can't participate. And I just took it all in, and I love foot washing. And I see that expression that God has asked us to show the world. Not only do I see it here in the church on Monday, Thursday. Was it your brother? Yes, James. And I've seen it before, and it's a great thing where right in the middle of a wedding ceremony, the bride, I guess to be, they haven't said the magical words yet, and the groom to be, they wash each other's feet.
Yeah.
And what an incredible display of commitment. Be here,
love, yeah.
Okay, because I know who you are. I'm your pastor, and I know who's in this congregation. And
he knows where you live.
Late night Thursday, you're going to get a call or a knock on the door. Yeah, I've got nothing to do Thursday night after Monday, Thursday service. But seriously, it's going to be a time of education.
Yes.
We're not going to do the Seder dinner like we've done the last couple of years.
Yep.
We're going to give that a break. And I got a couple interesting videoettes.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
One for each of them. And we're just going to have some family time and learn and grow and praise the Lord through our obedience. So Monday, Thursday, 6 p.m., going to be back here in the theater area for that time.
Super excited about it. And then Saturday, we are going to have our Easter egg hunt. It is absolutely 100% open to everybody. We love to have our community come out and just have time to love on them and just spend time with them. We have a ton of eggs, and we are super excited and hoping to see even more kids this year than last year. What are you chomping at?
Well, just like the first year, we weren't sure what to expect, but we just knew we wanted to love on the ones around us. And we had like 100 eggs, and we were so scared that we weren't going to have enough, but we had 100 eggs, and I think we had some left over.
So do I.
And now this year, we've grown every year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I think we had around 1,500, 1,700 eggs. And then this year,
2,852 or 3.
And we're still working on them.
Yep.
So, and Deanna said it, and I just want to say it again. The community egg hunt was never planned. It was never dreamed up to be something for our congregation.
Yeah.
This is a chance for us to reach out to everyone. Now, our young people can come, but it's not, that wasn't the purpose. So, you know, if you're seeing this, come bring your kids noon Saturday. If your kids are grown, you know, tell your kids, bring the grandkids, bring the neighbor kids.
Yep.
Last year I said it, I got in a heap and help and a trouble. But the one officer that saw it has retired. So I'm going to say it again, see where I'm at. I just want the community to know that we care about you. No strings attached.
Nope.
You don't have to sign a contract that says you're going to come to church on Sunday for your kids to get an egg. I want everybody to come. If you're in line at Walmart at 12:15 noon and you see some kids, grab them when their parents aren't looking, bring them down to get some eggs.
Don't do it.
And just in case Fort Wayne 50 is watching, I do live at 1235 East Lewis Street. So
1235. Okay, well, I mean, good luck.
Or 1225.
You know. Anyhow, so Saturday at noon, be here, and you know what? Doesn't matter how many eggs we have. I promise you that the kids will find every single one of them in less than 10 minutes.
You know, if you just want to find joy in your heart,
come watch them.
Come watch a little 2-year-old figure out what Easter egg hunt's about. But anyhow,
yes, absolutely.
And you know, don't forget, don't go after Deanna. I live at 1363 Newport Drive. Don't really steal the kids from Walmart because I really don't want those cops to come to my house. But anyhow.
Don't do it. Then Sunday morning, we are going to start at 8:30 with our young people's service. They are doing the entire sunrise service for us
from their hearts, not because we guilted them into it.
Yep, and it is. I'm excited. They've got special music. They've got special skits. They have special time that Julia's planned to share some information and share the word with us. And I am super psyched to see each of them and just see them involved. And it's super, super neat. As much as they have grown in this last couple months, I'm so excited to see what they have for us.
We have an incredible group of young people.
Yes,
and they are thirsty, thriving, on fire, whatever you want to call them.
They are.
One of our next specials, or not one of our next special service, very obviously is going to be a baptism service. And that's so exciting.
Yes.
It's past polar plunge days, so I'm ready to put my swim trunks on and get in the water. But for them to come and have a desire, that's incredible. I just, I love each and every one of them. I told my story yesterday, but I got to tell them again I just love Julia.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been so kind and loving to me as a kid and growing up in this church. And she's come, I think, to probably both of us and said, "Hey, do I have to go to junior church? Can I just sit in the sanctuary
Yep.
and listen to the message?" And boy, does that thrill your soul.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I was talking to Sierra, and Sierra said that she asked Julia, can I sit down with you in the Bible and can I help you put this thing together? And Julia's like, "No, get away from me. I got this." So,
Yep.
I'm super excited. 8:30 for that.
They're going to be wound up and ready, so be prepared.
And then at 9:00, come hungry. I hope that you come and just spend the morning with us and come at 8:30 for the young people. But breakfast starts at 9.
It'll be yummy.
And it'll be plenty. So there again, bring your hungry family. Knock on the neighbor's door, wake them up, bring your hungry neighbors.
We have a few teenage boys now,
Don't stop at Walmart and grab any kids, but, wave some people down on your way on the road or whatever.
Yeah.
And there again, Sunday, we all celebrate as a congregation, but we're doing this for you. We're doing this for our community. Come have some breakfast. Come hear the word. Maybe come see what our church is all about. It's a different kind of place, I think, mainly because the pastor here is just flat out off his rocker and goofy. But I say, come once, see what it's all about. Yeah. If it's not your gig, then,
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you for blessing us by allowing us to introduce ourselves and get to know you. So breakfast.
10:15. Worship service. We're excited. We're always excited. We're ready. I can't wait to worship together.
Resurrection Sunday.
Word. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. We're very excited. I cannot wait. I'm ready to go. It can be Sunday. I'm ready.
Ever since Brother Jack said that every Sunday should be Resurrection Sunday.
Yep.
I'm just thinking about rebranding the whole thing. And, for us, we spent a good bit of money on those banners, and we designed them so that they would last year after year after year. But I'm thinking about like one of them accidentally getting cut or something, so we have to order some new ones that say Resurrection Sunday activities.
Oh, I love it.
So, join us.
Yeah, 100%.
Doesn't matter if you've never been here before. Doesn't matter if you've never been in church. Doesn't matter what your lot in life is. Doesn't matter. I've never met somebody that didn't end up being my friend. I love to go.
He's not lying.
I love to go to Walmart with no list other than I write friend, and then I check them off as I make friends, and then I head out the door. And it doesn't happen very often. And especially with me being, Barbara and I are apart a little bit now. She doesn't even realize this, but sometimes I go to Walmart and don't spend any money. And if she knew that, she'd be so excited because I spend too much money at Walmart. Anyhow.
I promise you, if you come, you will not walk out of this place without feeling loved.
Absolutely.
Guarantee it.
Guaranteed, or your money back.
Yep.
Okay. So we're talking this week. This is Holy Week. We talked about Sunday was Palm Sunday, and why do we call it Palm Sunday, which is a man thing, because we could call it Red Oak Sunday. We could call it Spruce Sunday. Anyhow, we talked about Palm Sunday and about just how joyous that day was. And nobody had a clue except for the one riding on the donkey.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
He's on his donkey.
Oh, my goodness.
So, today, Tuesday, Jesus had been in the temple yesterday on Monday, and he got pretty grouchy.
Yeah.
And, they were just abusing and taking advantage of his people. And he said enough of that, and he took care of that. So, he continued his teaching and preaching in the synagogue on Tuesday. And the whole day in the background, the chief priests, the religious people,
They're angry
they were, yeah,
and spiteful. Yeah,
and they're like, we got to take care of this. We got to take care of this now.
Yep.
We got to get this guy buried and out of town, or else our gig of taking advantage of people and being wealthy on their account and everything, it's all going to go away.
We can't have
We got to
that.
figure this out.
Yep.
So in his teaching, while this is going on in the background, this is kind of interesting because it says in the scripture that as he was teaching, he said this, Jesus said this, he said, even the tax collectors and the prostitutes have a better chance of entering heaven than they do.
The amount of offended that they were, I cannot even imagine.
You know what? They were mad and they were ticked off and they were looking to just off this guy.
Yes. Yep.
And then.
And now they're really, really mad.
You know what I've heard so much the last couple of weeks? And I love that he was doing it, but he was really stirring the pot because they couldn't even look at him without spitting fire mad. So anyhow, just not a whole lot going on other than scheming and teaching on this day during Holy Week. So we wanted to take just a second. And like I said, there's something that really intrigues Pastor D and something that intrigues me. And we just thought that we'd throw those out there in the couple minutes that we have with you, just food for thought.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you can read the word just by itself and not understand what was going on in the culture of that day or some of the backstory, because the culture and the traditions were very, very different than what we have here. Yeah. And you don't understand them if you don't study deeper aside the word to understand the word more. So anyhow, tell us about hematohydrosis.
Thank you, Barbara.
Yes, we had to consult Barbara today before we could hit the live button. So thank you, my love.
You know that, we're both kind of medical nerds, but
can I read the scripture real quick before we go?
Go for it. No, you're fine.
So in Luke chapter 22, this is where this all comes out. In verse 43, and Jesus had been praying at the Mount of Olives, and everybody that was supposed to be there covering his back and praying with him, they fell asleep. I'd have probably made a good disciple in the Garden of Gethsemane because I'm pretty good at falling asleep. But anyhow, in verse 43, it says, an angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. And that's, I've heard people say, but, it's something you don't think about. Sweat and blood.
Was last year the first time that we really sunk in and talked about this one?
Yeah, because I've read that scripture 1,000 times until you asked me about it. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, girl. So
and it was not something I think that we even knew was a medical condition. I'm sorry that we knew anything about, but the sheer stress that he was under, and as we talked about sweating blood, and I was thinking in my head the things that happen physically to your body when you're stressed, the way that your heartbeat increases, your blood pressure increases, you're breathing faster, your adrenaline's on high. So in his case, as upset as he was, let's just be honest, as afraid, he was not looking forward to what was coming.
Father, if it be your will, let this pass away from me.
Yep.
He was here in his humanness, but we saw humanness there because he wants to serve God and be about God's will. But are you sure about this, Mr. God? So
have you lost it? I don't think we should do this. But when he was sweating blood and hematohydrosis, what happens is when you're sweating, the blood vessels under your skin, they contract and they expand, which everything's on high alert when you're that much adrenaline is pumping through your body. So it's not completely unheard of that it would happen anyways, but your blood vessels begin to burst as they expand again, and you can literally sweat blood.
Your heart's racing that it's so bad that it just pops those vessels and the blood has nowhere to go. So it seeps out your pores.
Yep. And I mean, that gives a whole new meaning to being scared to death, I think. I've been afraid, but I don't know if I've ever been that afraid.
Well, and that's interesting because, if you were with us Sunday, I kind of bared my heart because this is all family. And I have never felt ever in my life the stress, the pain, all the things, however you want to describe it. I've never felt it like I'm feeling it right now. And I said to somebody the other day, they said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm on my way down to the courthouse because I'm going to change my name to Job." But in all of that, I have never been so freaked out, stressed, that I could feel vessels in my body popping and look down
and see blood,
feeling like I was sweating and seeing blood. And, that anguish, we can't understand it. And when Pastor Deanna first brought that up, I'm like, that's a symbol, or you didn't read it right or something. And then she's like, she came to me and she's like, "Here, do you believe me now?" And she showed me the article, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a cool medical thing, but something that I hope none of us ever have.
And you know what? We should do a sermon series. We've been talking about doing things together. Yeah. We should do a medical sermon series because
I would geek out. Are you sure you want to do this?
Is it lanolin? We should Google it real quick. But anyhow, there is a makeup in our body that we can't function without this anatomical configuration in our body.
Yeah.
And see, people already know that sermon series isn't going to work because he doesn't know anything about medicine. But no, seriously, there is a part of our body, and we cannot function without this thing called, I think it's called lanolin. And it's atoms that come together, but they form a cross.
Oh.
And it's like,
yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. We had a big boom and all of a sudden there was the world, and it just happened to be a cross that we can't live without. I mean, we got to do a medical series.
Yes, we do. Note to self, making it now. Let's hear about why he was so stressed.
It goes back to why he came to Jerusalem. We talked about that yesterday. Dude, why'd you even come?
Yeah. I that blew my mind. I am so convinced it was Passover.
It goes back to the Old Testament.
It does.
He came to fulfill what was prophesied, just to prove that God was God, and that he was God in the flesh, God on earth, and it was part of the plan.
Yeah.
And
we were just talking yesterday, day before, about God playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
We can't plan what we're going to do tomorrow, guys. And God's planning thousands and thousands of years in advance.
And I like to play the suspense game. I'll just throw a little carrot out there and just watch people squirm a little bit. But he didn't even do that when he came in to Jerusalem on that donkey. There's those people that are just like, oh, and then there's the ones sitting back and they're like, I wish we could kill him.
Yep.
And Jesus is riding in and he's looking at them and he's looking at them and he's like, you ain't got no idea what's about ready to happen here. But it was all part of the plan.
Absolutely, it was.
So, sweat and blood.
And we just learned.
I don't know that I'm prepared to be that godly, but
no, me neither.
So, the other thing, anything else you want to say there?
No, you're fine. 100%.
There again, for those that know me, I am fascinated by the funeral industry, and I do what I can over the years. I've done what I can to just be a part of that. And God had other plans, or else the biggest funeral home in Fort Wayne, sorry, Dave and Doug, would be Bradley Family Funeral Home. So death intrigues me. And I started reading about the crucifixion, I don't know, a lot of years ago. How did they come up with that? What's the deal? And the interesting thing about crucifixion is it's beyond painful. It's beyond agonizing. It was created to just be your last torture.
Yeah.
And crucifixion traditionally was reserved for the worst of the worst of the worst, the Jeffrey Dahmers, or I can't even think, Jim Jones or somebody, you didn't see crucifixion very often because it was reserved. And actually one of the prominent parental guidance is suggested. Sorry.
There's your disclaimer.
One of the most, should I say popular? That's not a good word, but you all know what I mean. One of the most popular forms of capital punishment was taking a dead, decaying body and tying it to the criminal back to back. And that criminal had to carry that dead, decaying body around as the decay from that body began to eat your body. As far as I'm concerned, that's some bad stuff. But crucifixion was 100,000 times worse. So bad that the Romans had a rule, a law that Romans couldn't even be crucified.
Yeah.
It was so bad, it didn't matter how bad you were, you didn't deserve crucifixion.
Nope, not even a little bit. In the video that we were doing some research right before we started this, and I never ever knew that excruciating came from crucifixion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. The word excruciating actually was born through the scribes and the scriptures and into Merriam-Webster and all that, but the word excruciating came about because of Christ on the cross and what he went through, because there was just no word to explain
the pain.
What he was going through.
Absolutely.
And I know, as a matter of fact, one of the worst ways that you can die is suffocation. It's long, it's painful, and crucifixion was actually about suffocation.
Yep.
Because they pounded the nails into your body, into your flesh, to create blood and to create shock and all those things, also that your body couldn't even hold itself up.
Yeah.
And what would happen is you would go through the shock and the pain and the excruciating time.
Yeah.
But the death was not from blood loss, and the death wasn't from this or that. It's because you could not hold your body up, so you fell into a position where you cut off your air and you actually suffocated. And just, I'm a sissy.
Slow, yeah.
I'm a sissy. Same. I got a shot a couple of weeks ago, and I told Dr. Hensel, I didn't see any suckers, but I saw the roll of stickers. Or I didn't see any suckers, but I saw the roll of stickers. And I said, dude, you're not giving me a shot unless I get a sucker or a sticker. And he thought I was funny, but I walked out of there with a sticker. I'm a sissy. No, I'm a sissy. I can't stand pain. But to think about what he went through at the hands of those people that said they loved him.
Worshipped him on Sunday.
The cat o' nine tails and just all that he went through before he even got to that cross.
Yeah.
And a lot of medical people, which will be bringing the word on this, a lot of medical people say that it was a God thing.
He was even alive to get there.
That he was even alive to get there.
Yeah.
from what he went through. And I mean, it makes me cringe. And we've showed the passion of the Christ, 2 years, the last 2 Good Fridays. And, you know, I kind of got shut down this year because it's so painful. People just, and even that movie brings it so real, but it's still not real. We can't even imagine what he went through, but it just blows my mind.
100%.
And there was a time when I had, you know, I'm working on my anger, but there was a time that I was just an angry person. And my motto was, you know, I don't get mad, I don't get even, I stay one up.
Yeah.
And it was always about, you know, you made me mad, and I'm going to show you what mad looks like.
Yep.
And there he was, peaceful and calm, because he knew that all this was to fulfill the plan for you and I.
Mm.
And I love, you know, what do I tell you every day? If I wake up and I don't add value to every single person that I see, I have failed that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you ain't gonna take my shirt off and whip me on the back with glass shards, you know.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna make me carry something that's like 4 or 5 times my weight, even on my best day, you know. And there he was, and he did that so that we can sit here and talk about it. He did that so that we can worship on Sunday freely. He did that because, like I was talking, you know, I might be in my worst days. But even in my worst days, when I lean into God and I just commit to doing that every day, I survive.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. And there was a day I wasn't, and I just hurt for everybody that doesn't know the Lord, that doesn't understand what Easter's all about.
Yeah.
So anyhow, hope we see you tomorrow for the Wednesday edition,
where we'll be live on Facebook. And the biggest goal of the day is to distract Pastor Bill, who is the king of not being distracted.
Well, yeah.
So go for it. Try to distract him.
So, well, you know, we talked about this yesterday, but in case you didn't tune in, tomorrow we are going to do our live, and the way that we have to do it now is we're doing live on YouTube, and then it just falls down to live on Facebook at the same time. But I don't know that we can do that. We're going to go live on Facebook so that we can interact.
Yes. Yep.
And what I'm hoping, I told her, Finnegan and I have a couple people on YouTube that I really like, I admire, I respect. And so that's a lot of not a lot. I mean, I can't remember the last time I didn't jump on YouTube.
I love that Finny has a favorite too.
Yeah, he sits right there, and I scratch his back
Ellie
or his belly, and he just, you know.
She watches TV.
Anyhow, they always get so excited when they're doing a live, and you know, he's right in the middle of something. He's like, "Oh, hi, Johnny," and then he finishes his sentence, or "Hey, I'm glad you guys came in." And so I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Not only just because, you know, I'm going to scratch my itch, but hopefully we'll get some people interacting and get some different thoughts as to what's going on. Because, you know, people ask me all the time, how does a pastor grow and how does a pastor learn? And a lot of times it's because of the people I surround myself with, and they've studied something or they have a view of something that I never thought of. So looking forward to tomorrow. Make sure that, you know, if at all possible, just set some time aside. And
we're looking forward to it. I think it'll be a blast. And knowing our people, I can't wait.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have a great day. Great Super Tuesday. And if you need anything, make sure you get a hold of Pastor Deanna or myself. 260-433-4404. A lot of fours. I did that on purpose just so it was easy to remember. But
You might be the only number I have memorized still. I'm just wanting you to know that.
I'm the only person in the world that knows my own phone number. But,
There's facts right there.
serious, get a hold of me. Talk to me about something that you have a question on.
Yeah.
Talk to me about something in your life. Come sit down. We'll grab a Coke and we'll talk about maybe an issue or a pain that you have going on, or, shoot me a text and say, hey, you're the world's greatest goober, but I like you. So anyhow, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Thank you for allowing us to be into your hearts and lives for just a moment.
Yeah.
May God bless you and have a great day.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.